where you can find the articles. And to go back to what that Israelite had on her page about the 12 tribes not being, the Native Americans and Hispanics not being Israelites. That's not true. That's trying to separate the nation. We trying to gather it together, man, like the Lord say. Go to Romans 12:2, and it says, "And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God." I mean, we got to come on now. That's trying to break up, man. We trying to bring together. 2 Corinthians 11:13. "For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ." 2 Corinthians 11:14. "And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel. His ministers also be transformed as ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works." Here's the 12 tribe sign again. Now, there are also Israelites scattered, like I said, throughout all nations, through the four corners of the earth. So you have Israelites in Italy, you have Israelites in Australia and Ireland, and so on. But don't get it twisted. To be an Israelite, you have to come from one of these 12 tribes. So even if you're living in Italy or Ireland or even China, you come from one of these 12 tribes, even though today you'll be considered as one of the Gentile nations, saying Chinese or Japanese. If you're a descendant of one of these tribes, this is who you are, no matter what you look like. It has nothing to do with color of your skin or what you look like. If you're a seed of these tribes, you're an Israelite from the 12 tribes of Israel. Here's the 12 tribes and what their names mean. Down here, I go here and it says, this is from the book The Lost 10 Tribes of Israel Found. And it says, during Jesus Christ's ministry, Matthew 10:6 states that he sent his 12 apostles to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Biblical reference to the house of Israel identifies the 10 tribes of Israel, not the Jews who were called the house of Judah, because the tribe of Judah was down there with the Lord, and those were the Negroes and Jamaicans. They were with the Lord at that time. The other tribes had already dispersed. Now, there were pockets of Israelites that left. That's where you get the Olmecs and things like that. But as a tribe, the tribe of Judah, the so-called Negroes, were down with Christ and the so-called Jamaicans at the time of Christ. So again, it's impossible for the so-called Negroes to be all 12 tribes. It's impossible. All right, since Jesus Christ commissioned his apostles to go to the descendants of the 10 tribes of Israel, it is clear that Jesus knew that the Israelites could be found in specific homelands at that time. Josephus and Jesus Christ did not consider the 10 tribes to be lost at all, but rather living in known geographical locations. This is a small map of the dispersion. They went all over, man, but mainly to the United States and Americas. Here, this is a good website, because we're in the last days, man, and people are starting to wake up, and it says the true Hebrew Israelites and the disciple believers, Puerto Ricans and Cubans people are Hebrew Israelites, descendants of Jacob. And this is the article right here where you can go find it. Here's another website here. It says Puerto Rico tribes, Taino, the Native American Indians, or Boricua, Puerto Rico. Now a lot of Ephraimites starting to wake up from that Spanish type upbringing and going towards the Native American heritage, but it really is Israelite heritage. And why is that happening? You go to Mark 4:22, and the Lord says, "For there is nothing hid which shall not be manifest, neither was anything kept secret but that it would come abroad. Meaning this was going to be kept secret about the 12 tribes. Now we're in the last days. It's all coming true. All of it's coming true. And Isaiah 11:12 says, and he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah. That again tells you that you have Judah, and then you have the Israelites. Judah, the so-called Negroes, and the other Israelites, the outcast of Israel. Those are the Puerto Ricans, the Native Americans, and Hispanic that were scattered. And gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. Now it's true, you have the seed of Judah all over. That's why the Lord says Judah. He separates them, says Judah from the four corners of the earth, but also you're going to gather together the outcasts of Israel. So you can't put those two together. Judah has a seed all over the earth. That's a fact. But then also you have the outcasts of Israel. Now we go back over here to these tribes. Somebody's wrong. These people are not Israelites in the Bible, right? And they're also not named as enemies of the Lord. You have the enemies of the Lord named in Psalms 83rd chapter. And these are the people that the Lord, the names of the people that are in the Bible that are Gentiles. Now, you don't see none of these names here. You don't hear about the Hispanics being enemies of the Lord, or Native Americans being enemies of the Lord, because they're the children of the Lord. The enemies of the Lord are already documented. So how can you say that they're not Israelites? Who are they then? The Lord calls them Israelites. Let me go over here. You can, to get more information and letting you know that Israelites were scattered throughout all nations. You can go to Joel 3 and 4. Also, when you want to read about the 144,000, which means 12,000 out of each nation, 12,000 Negroes, 12,000 Jamaicans, 12,000 Puerto Ricans, and so on. They make up the 144,000. You can read about that in Revelation 7:4. Revelation 7:9 says, after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and all kindreds and peoples and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. All nations mean the Israelites that were scattered. You can also go to Isaiah 11, chapter 11, verse 11 and 12, and it says, it shall come to pass in that day, so that's a future prophecy, that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time, because the first time he took us out of Egypt with mighty power. And then we had many captivities since then, but as a group, as a 12 tribe, as a family, Egypt was the first, captivity. We were all together as one. And his hand a second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria. The 10 tribes that left from Assyria that came to America, that was the ones he's talking about here. He's going to wake up the tribe of Judah, which are the Negroes, and the tribe of Judah has been waking up for years now, and the rest of the tribes are going to come in line. You can also read Deuteronomy 28th chapter, which the whole chapter is a great chapter to give you understanding, and Leviticus, the 26th chapter. And this is the article says, beyond Arzareth. Again, it says, this gives you the information on it. And it says here, the name Jew is short for Judah, which was only one of the 12 tribes of Israel. So if you don't come from the 12 tribes, if you don't come from the tribe of Judah, you're not a Jew. You're an Israelite, but you're not a Jew. That was a name given to the tribe of Judah, the word Jew. So the people who live in Israel now and call themselves Jewish cannot be Jewish unless their fathers are Negroes, because that's the tribe of Judah. So they're imposters. And the tribe of Benjamin also, which are the Jamaicans. And beyond it, you can't tell Negroes and Jamaicans apart unless they speak. You know what I'm saying? We both look alike. We very much look alike, those two tribes, Judah and Benjamin. They are known to live in Israel. However, these two tribes were living in Israel. However, the other 10 tribes, there was no record. And then he's saying what became of them until now, letting you know from 2nd Ezra that the other 10 tribes, the Hispanics and Native American Israelites, they came over to America. That's what happened to them.